In 2012, I decided to become a teacher. This decision has led me to pursue a master's degree in culture and linguistically diverse education. As I near the end of my time in the CLDE program, I'm astounded by how much I have gained from working with knowledgeable professors and colleagues. They both have helped me to develop my knowledge of scholarly concepts and current research and to develop my skills to integrate concept in my daily classroom practice. I specifically learned that a safe, welcoming classroom environment with minimal anxiety about performing in a second language is essential for students to learn. Krashen claims that learners with a low level of anxiety are better equipped for success in second language acquisition because anxiety can raise the affective filter and form a mental block that prevents comprehensible input from being used for acquisition. Therefore, I have to make sure that my classroom is a place where mistakes are acceptable and students can feel the opportunity to correct them. Welcoming classroom environment is necessary, but not sufficient on its own for learning to take place. Gibbons suggests that instruction for English language learners should be cognitively challenging and focus on both language and content. This high challenge classroom must be one where they are giving the kinds of scaffolding and linguistic support that will give students the comprehensible input that enable them to engage in learning and be successful learners. To scaffold learning for my students, I usually use extra linguistic support like visual tools. I also make content from challenging text more accessible by providing key questions to guide reading comprehension. I also sometimes modify our language by minimizing the use of idiomatic expression and pause more frequently and for longer period of time to give student processing time. I also engage my students in purposeful activity in which they have many opportunity to interact with others and to negotiate meaning. I honestly rely heavily on social interaction for scaffolding because I believe social interaction in which English language learners actively participate foster the development of English language. Vygotsky and many more all argue that human beings develop language in the context of the cultural community in which they participate. Therefore, to support my students in learning English, I frequently create activity, provide my students with opportunity for meaningful interaction. For example, I use structured discussions, brainstorming, and role-playing. As a teacher of English language learners from all over the world, I have to be very cognizant of the varying cultural background of my students and their previous academic experiences. I learn about my student because this allowed me to create authentic activity that bring real-world phenomena into the classroom for students to work with. Also allowed me to provide language drills that use facts from student lives. Finally, teaching students to use literacy to find their place in the world is part of my responsibility. Pablo Ferreira suggests in this sociocultural view of teaching that it is not sufficient to learn how to read the world. Rather, learners need to use their developing literacy to read the world. That is to examine their own lives, understand their own realities and problems, and use reading and writing to act on or resolve their problems. In my classroom, I help my students to read the world and then act to it by letting them learn to arrive to their own conclusions and to define their own position and to compromise as they work together. As the field continued to learn more about the education of cultural and linguistically diverse education, my journey for professional development never ended, and my commitment to continuous professional development became evident.